Hi, guys.
Hi.
How come mine's not loading now?
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
What's up?
I think we're going to go live on Rob.
Okay.
SOS is just as a go.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with hers. She's trying to fix her live screen right now. Maybe that you're on Wi-Fi only and the Wi-Fi in here no bueno.
Yeah, man. All right, we'll just do this live.
All right, cool.
Here as we're good.
So yeah, we're just gonna do a credit live today.
Credit.
So a couple weeks ago, we did a Facebook Live for with Stephanie about what did we do it on?
Experience Boost.
Yeah, on Experience Boost.
So I hope you guys learned something from that because I had a loan officer call me yesterday, and he had seen the way it was listed, and he goes, "This can't be good," and I was like, "Let me point you to this video."
Well, and it's funny about that because I think during one of the football games, one of the college football games, they actually showed Experience starting to advertise this a little bit more.
Oh my
and
God,
I saw the advertisements for it. So yeah, it's starting to be out there. So awesome. I mean, I got a lot of really good feedback from our last one. So
moving on to the next one.
What are we going to cover today?
Credit Karma versus FICO.
Ooh,
Okay,
that's a good one.
You're going to want to pay attention to this, but I will tell you, I'm a credit geek.
Yes.
Like, it's pretty bad.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to give you like the condensed version of this. But if you ever want to know more than what I'm spitting out, just hit me up on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can they find you on Facebook, first of all?
SOS Solutions.
SOS Solutions.
Yep,
All
perfect,
right.
perfect.
Cool. And if you're not sure how to reach her, you can reach me, Rob Younce, here with OBM Financial. Would love to help you out, but I have my credit geek. Actually had a call right before we...
Geek.
Right
I'm just going to put that in quotes
That's
over
right.
my head.
That's
Credit geek.
Yeah, right
Love
before
it.
we got on, I actually had a call from a borrower who was going through some credit things, and I told him how lucky they were to have her here, so we're able to walk through some scenarios. So if you are another mortgage company here locally that isn't using a credit guru geek, Stephanie's the bomb.
Why would you not be?
Yeah, Stephanie's awesome. And,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
she
pay
is.
him for that later.
She is. All right, so Credit Karma versus FICO. One of the things I hear all the time in talking to borrowers is that, hey, yeah, my Credit Karma score is this.
Yeah.
You've taught me what to say, but teach everybody else. Why does that matter?
Okay, so there are two different algorithms actually.
Yeah.
So FICO stands for the Fair Isaac Corporation. Fair Isaac Corporation equals FICO. The Credit Karma score is actually not a Credit Karma score. It's called a Vantage score, and that was created by the three bureaus. They're completely different algorithms. It's like comparing apples and avocados.
Okay, so you mentioned another term that I want to make sure everybody understands: credit bureaus.
Yeah.
What are they?
Well, they're the people that sell your data.
Yes, correct. That's correct. That's very true.
That's the truth of it. But basically, they are who your creditors report to. So if you want a credit report on the bills that I pay that gets reported to the bureaus, you buy the credit report from the bureaus.
Okay.
Equifax, TransUnion, Experian are our main three.
Mm-hmm.
There are two other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's like 4 or 5 other ones, but the two big ones that you interact with
Mm-hmm.
are LexisNexis and Innovis. So
Okay.
if you ever pull a risk review on somebody
Mm-hmm.
where their court cases show up, it's coming from LexisNexis.
Absolutely. And just so you know, as potential buyers and borrowers and people looking to buy homes, we pull Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian when we're pulling our mortgage credit reports. So those are the 3 bureaus that we focus on. But it's important to know because I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, the credit reporter and the bureaus, and they mix and match, and they're all over the place, so I want to make sure we're speaking the same terms. So the bureaus, the credit bureaus, created the Vantage score, correct?
Yes, they created a Vantage score.
What's the difference between those two? What's between that and FICO?
Let's get geeky! All right, so honestly, what had happened was way back when they had, you could get a loan by, horse and buggy, back then. What was happening was these poor lenders were pulling credit reports that were like pages and pages and pages long, and they had, can you imagine that? And they had to try to decipher what was actually on the credit report and figure out how it fit into their lending.
Yeah.
And then just like you do now, sometimes you guys will take explanations for why certain things have happened on credit reports. Well, what was happening was people were giving such sob stories that lenders were putting the loans through based on the stories that the consumer said, and then they were defaulting. So they said, okay, we got to find a way to make this universal. So that's how credit scoring started. Fair Isaac went in. They took a bit of data from each one of the bureaus. This is coming from FICO directly because I've been to their conferences.
Good.
Super geek.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes. But basically they went in, they grabbed a little bit of data, and they created an algorithm based on each one of those bureaus' data.
Okay.
The differences. Basically the bureaus went in and copied FICO's algorithm, tweaked it a little bit based on current scoring models, and that's where you end up with Vantage.
Okay. So, full disclosure, the letters of explanation and the whole horse and buggy lending, I have the gray hair to prove it that I was actually a lender during that time. So, and I cannot confirm nor deny that I was one of the ones that had my borrowers submit these letters of explanation. So,
well, I mean, listen.
So basically, what you're saying is I'm responsible for creating a FICO score.
It's your
totally
fault.
my fault. So they've taken these two different algorithms. Get into the real geek part of things of what is actually different between the two. What are some of the major high points, I guess, in the differences between the two?
Okay, so the biggest difference, FICO has 5 pieces of data that it uses to create the FICO algorithm.
Okay.
Vantage has 6. Vantage equals Credit Karma, just so you guys are on the same level with me. Vantage has 6. Basically, the model that FICO created, Vantage went in and copied, but just broke it down in a different way.
Okay.
So they broke out, like one of the big differences, we have inquiries on the FICO scores where it's 10% of your credit score.
Right.
The way that Vantage went in with those inquiries was they said, okay, how many times have you applied for credit, and then how many times have you been approved for it?
Ah, okay.
So again, that's that breakout that isn't the same as the FICO model. So it's really just the percentages are different.
Okay, interesting. And again, when I see some realtors are on here, Rob Waring, hey, how are you? Saw some, and some potential borrowers are actually watching it, and I want to make sure that they understand that we do use the FICO score. We do not use your Credit Karma or your Vantage credit score. And I've had borrowers that have called that have said, hey, my credit score through Credit Karma is this, let's say 700.
Yeah.
And I tell them that it could be 100 points either way. It can either be 100 points higher than what your actual score is, or it can actually be 100 points lower. So there's a lot of, where that split off occurs inside of that algorithm is quite a few points are at stake there, right?
Yeah, it is.
So we know that there's different calculations of your credit score.
Let me give you a big difference in FICO and Vantage. Right now, with the FICO algorithm that you're using, which is archaic, by the way.
Yes.
The FICO algorithm that lenders use, and listen, lenders use this algorithm because it really, it's a risk.
Sure.
So it gives you the best possible view of what the risk to a borrower, or to lending to a borrower were. That word is.
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
Good.
Okay. One of the big differences that you'll find is that on the Vantage algorithm, if you pay off a collection, it's not counted in that algorithm anymore.
Interesting.
If you pay it on the FICO side, it is.
Correct.
If you have a medical bill in the Vantage algorithm, it's not counted at all. It'll show up, but it's not counted at all. On the FICO side, it will.
It is.
Did that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those collections are the biggest problem in the algorithms today. Now, mind you, FICO has just released a new algorithm, because they do it like every 3 days, I think. But they just released a new algorithm that closely mirrors the Vantage scoring system, but lenders aren't using it yet.
Yeah, lenders aren't using it yet. In case, I'm not sure how familiar you are with lending. Basically, we're very slow to adapt things. That's why all the technology that's being incorporated into loans right now, it's taken years for that to evolve and to get to that point.
Yeah.
So, until the end investor, the people that everybody sells loans to, the multiple people start saying, yes, we want to use this credit score because it's proving that these pool of loans perform better over
Yeah.
time, then we're going to probably stick with this this version of FICO that we're using.
Yeah, so it's really just in your best interest if you're going to make a major purchase, because the FICO scoring algorithm is the major player with lenders. You want to really learn how that algorithm works. And then if you want to use the Vantage scoring model to just see what's showing up on the credit report, you can do that.
Like like a monitoring type service.
Yeah, use it as a monitor, but just remember it's missing a bureau, so you're not getting all of your data, but you can potentially see what's actually showing up on the report, inaccuracies, that kind of thing.
Right. And one of the other things we covered before we got on camera was that your scores can change pretty frequently.
Oh my God, like every day.
Yeah, right.
So your scores will change based on what you're doing day to day. So if a creditor has reported that you have this much as that you're using on a credit card, that's going to cause your score to change. If you've applied for credit, it's going to cause your score to change. If something's fallen off after 7 years, it's going to cause your score to change. So you're going to pull credit one day, and then 30 days later, it's going to be completely different.
Right. And that's where we get into, I know you run different trainings and things like that, but that's where we get into credit simulators and what if scenarios and stuff like that. In case you don't know, a lot of the lenders nowadays have some tools at their disposal that allow them to kind of massage the credit, so to speak, and say, here's what you have to do to get to this particular credit score. So if you're trying to qualify for a certain loan that requires a certain credit score, we can run a different simulator and figure out, all right, if you pay this down or if you pay this debt off, or you open up a new card, or this dispute is taken off, or whatever the scenario is, we can figure that out and help you get to whatever credit score you want. Now, that could include paying off a large debt or paying down a large debt.
Right.
So, it's not like we wave a magic wand and we can certainly get to that credit score, but there are things that we can do. So if you're in the beginning of the home buying process, or even late in the home buying process, and you're just not sure that you're getting a great deal, or wondering if you can get a better deal. And the reason I say that is because credit score is one of the things that affects your actual interest rate. Mm-hmm. There's 13 different factors that affect an interest rate. Credit score is one of them.
Geeky.
Yeah, I know, totally loan geeking, right? Exactly. Oh. If you guys could hear our conversations off camera, you'd understand. But what else do we need to know on Credit Karma versus FICO? What other things out there that we could bring up?
What other things do you need to know of FICO versus Vantage? I just want to say one thing. Can I just say one thing?
You only have one?
Okay, I'm going to say just one thing this time. The credit bureaus make money based on where your credit score is. So if you have bad credit, you're a magnet for a lender, because they're going to make more money off of you. Not saying this guy, but when you log into Credit Karma, what's the first thing you see? Have you ever logged into Credit Karma?
I don't think I have.
You're such a good guy.
I think you disowned me.
When you log into Credit Karma, one of the very first things you see is you qualify for this credit card and this credit card and this credit card. So remember, Credit Karma is offered to you for free because they make money off of every time you apply.
And who created Credit Karma?
Oh, the bureaus did.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So just be careful before you go, praising Credit Karma and Vantage scoring and all that stuff. Look, do I think that Vantage score is going to be a serious contender in the next couple of years? Absolutely, because it's more fluid in the way that it will forgive a lot of the past, whereas FICO is very unforgiving. So it's going to happen, but just be careful with anything that says free, because chances are they're making money a different way and you're probably falling for it.
Well, actually, this video is free. But
it's costing me time.
But it's really not, because what we want you to do is we want you to comment below, we want you to like the video, we want you to share this, because we feel it's very educational to anybody who's inside of the real estate process or inside the real estate business.
Or just living in America.
Yeah, or affected by credit anyway.
Yeah.
So please share this. So really, it's not free. We're asking you to do something.
We are.
And if you have any questions on credit, you have your credit geek here. How do they reach you?
SOS Solutions. You can call my office, 757-356-5756. Leave your comments below. send a homing pigeon?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? Can
we do homing.
Smoke signals?
Smoke signals are there
Okay,
too.
good.
And if you have any questions and you can't reach Stephanie, or you have questions about a loan or a mortgage or anything real estate related, I guess, give me a call, 757-286-8912. I'm Rob Younce with OVM Financial.
Stephanie Adams SOS Solutions.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Gotta come around and turn it off, though.
He's going to walk that way. Have a great day, guys.